Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of We Talk a Lot, where me, Akshay Pai, and Bhumesh.
Hi,
Bhumesh,
everyone.
Bhumesh, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, my electricity bills were too high. Akshay, these electricity bills are killing me. I can't afford to turn my lights on.
So, hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of We Talk a Lot, episode 3. We're down to 3. So, basically, We Talk a Lot is a video podcast where two lawyers, that's me, myself, Akshay Pai, and Bhumesh Bellam. Bhumesh, wait for the
And
audience,
I,
please.
Bhumesh Bellam.
Both of us basically talk about the legal aspects and current affairs news in a fun and interesting way.
Please hit subscribe and follow us because we have a lot of interesting stuff coming up. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we put up our next video. So, the topic for today is electricity bills and consumer redressal, where we basically will be talking about the increase in the electricity bills which we all have faced recently. How do we solve this? Can this be
Yeah.
solved at all? What can a consumer do to get this resolved?
And there is obviously a legal answer. There's always a legal answer to everything. So I think that's going to be our topic.
So, because
Yeah. So guys,
Electricity Act and electricity law is quite a niche practice even for lawyers, and but somehow we end up finding one who will help us out
yeah.
and who is
Yeah.
quite well versed with this subject. He has written multiple research papers and articles on electricity laws. So tonight we have with us Mr. Arjun Kadam, who will be helping us out understand this electricity law. Hello, and welcome,
Yeah.
Arjun. Hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Thank you,
Arjun.
thank you, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here on this
Yeah.
topical, problematic, and yet controversial topic.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you?
Let us see how it is.
Before we start, I want to ask you: have you dealt with this problem till now in this as a professional, as an advocate? Have you dealt with this problem yet?
Too many people came to me with this problem, and then I helped them resolve somehow.
Now we'll probably enlighten our viewers also how to get their problems resolved. Before we reach to what the problem is, let's talk about the
Yeah.
source.
Before we get to the source, if you remember some Panchatantra stories, you remember there used to be certain characters who used to either create problems or face problems. Many of the good characters used to face problems largely. But then ultimately the morals in all these stories used to be the problem was with nobody else but with ourselves. And that is precisely what has happened in this case. The problem was with nobody else but with the consumers paying the bills. So let us understand what was the problem, and before that, as Gomesh rightly said, where did the problem come from and who created it?
Yeah.
So it's the distribution licensee who is blameworthy in this. A distribution licensee is nothing but a delivery boy. He takes electricity, he buys electricity from somewhere, and he delivers it to your doorstep. There is something known as a generation company which generates electricity by whatever means, may it be by coal or solar energy, by wind energy. After it produces electricity, it gives it away. Now, when it gives it away, it is of very, very high voltage, unbearable voltage. So there are these transformers somewhere in between, which understand the capacity of this electricity and they step it up. They increase the power. In colloquial terms, they increase the might of it. After this happens, the electricity goes into these transmission lines. That is, they give it away to the delivery boy with whom we shall be dealing with. Now, the delivery boys with these transmission lines, they transmit this electricity, and then ultimately it somewhere reaches our homes.
By delivery boys or the distribution licenses, you mean basically the BEST, Adani.
If you see the popular distribution companies, these are only four. That is the BEST. Then you have the MECDCL. Then you have Adani. And then you have Tata. Of course, you have Reliance, but not that popular in terms of the number of people using it. So these are the four distribution licenses, and those were deemed to be blameworthy by the people when this problem cropped up.
The problem was that we faced an exorbitant amount of electricity bill in the month of June. But this was basically the problem where a lot of hue and cry was raised because of this subject as to how the bill is so high when the usage is not as much. And a lot of celebrities came out, a lot of prominent personalities came out complaining about it on Twitter. It was trending topic, although we are a little late to the topic, but at least better late than never.
See, Bhumesh, when as a consumer I approach the distribution licensee flashing away my bill as to why should I pay so much, I ask them a simple question. Is it against the consumption of electricity that I have done? The answer is surprisingly yes from them, that you have consumed that much of electricity and hence you must pay for it. Then I reframe my question. Is it the amount of consumption that I have done in the month of May and June? The answer is no to it. And there lies the solution. Let us go to the core of the problem. You see, the Electricity Act, by any chance or by any reason, if the distribution licensee cannot visit your premises for reading the meters, physically reading the meters, for any reason, for natural reasons such as the lockdown. In compliance of the lockdown, the distribution licensee couldn't come to your premises to check your meter, read it, and then accordingly estimate the bill. So what the law says, you estimate it as per the previous 3 readings which you have actually conducted. So suppose in the month of March, 24th, 23rd of March, the lockdown was announced. So for the month of March, if you cannot calculate the bill, then you take an average of the previous 3 months. What were the previous 3 months? December 19, January 20, and February 20. You see, these are winter seasons where invariably the consumption is low for obvious reasons. We don't use that much of AC and coolers and fans, etc. Consumption is low and the billing is also low. So if you see, in the month of December, if a person, I actually studied a few bills, I troubled a few of my family members and my friends, and I collected those bills and I studied those bills. One of the ideal bills which I found and I would like to share over here for clarity and understanding. So in the month of December, this friend of mine was charged with 500 rupees, and invariably he used to be charged with 500, 600, 800, not more than 800. So in December, he was charged with 500 rupees for whatever amount of consumption. I will not go into the nitty-gritties of it. Then in month of January, he was charged with 800 rupees. Then in the month of February, he was charged with 600 rupees. So something close to 500 and something not that close to 800. Something in between, adjustable, understandable. But then when he went to the month of March, there was no bill for obvious reasons that they couldn't come to your premises, as I said. In the month of April also, there was no bill. But then when he received a bill in the month of May, it was about 2,000 rupees. You consider the scenario that he has been paying 500 and 600 and not more than 800, but then he was imposed with this misery of paying 2,000 rupees, which may not appear
almost 4 times.
Yes, or may not appear to be a that huge figure, but a 4 times figure. Why should he pay this? He goes to the electricity authorities, which we will be discussing in a short while. He goes to the redressal forums and he asks them, have I consumed that much of electricity for the month of May? The answer is no, but you have consumed it. When? When have you consumed it? It is for the month of March and April that you have consumed it, and we did not charge you for those months because we charged you as an average bill. So suppose, if you remember, the December bill was 500, then it was 600 and then 800 till February. Take an average of all 3. It is somewhere around
666. Yeah, 66, whatever.
Somewhere around 600 or thereabout. And accordingly, he was charged with 600 for the month of March. Accordingly, he was charged with 600 month for April also. But then when he received his May bill, it was 2,000. Now you just divide this 2,000 by 3. It will be again somewhere into the range of 600. Yeah. And that's it got apportioned with May, April and March.
I believe there's a regulation 15.3 of one of the MERC regulations, which says that in case you cannot make a meter reading, then you can take the average of the previous month's meter reading. Yes. Thereby, they took the average of the winter months. Winter, yes. Obviously, there's no AC, there's not too much fridge. Yeah, you're out also most of the times. You're going for vacation. So there's not too much consumption. And then suddenly, in May, when they had to calculate the meter readings, because in June, the lockdown was temporarily or like partially lifted. So when they came to see your meter readings and when they saw your meter readings for April and May, the officers basically realized कि ये अभी लॉकडाउन में घर पे बैठे थे सब लोग, plus AC and everything is being used fully, everyone is doing work from home, so because of that the bills have suddenly increased, and it wasn't as though they were being charged for something they hadn't used, it was something which they were using. Only question was that they could not read the meters.
Correct. In fact, all these distribution companies came out with a press note citing this exact same reason.
See, at the end of the day, they cannot basically charge you something that is not prescribed under the statute. Correct. They have charged you as per the statutory prescriptions. And
interestingly, the MERC by order dated April 2020, they have reduced the tariff rates. Yeah. So whenever the distribution companies are to modulate the tariff rates, they are to get an approval from the MERC. and the MERC has accordingly reduced the tariff. So there is no reason for a tariff hike as such.
Yeah, no, so in fact, interestingly, it was published as though tariffs have been changed. No one said whether there been increase or decrease. So in June, when someone got the bill, like, see, look at the fraud or the foul play of the companies and the government that they are increasing the tariffs in the lockdown. But that wasn't the case. In fact, the tariffs were reduced, and it happened as a matter of due course. The applications for change in tariff were made in November. So there hasn't been any increase in tariffs. Also, it has been reduced, in fact.
So now the way forward. What do we do when we get these inflated bills? Where do we go? How do we approach which forums? So let's speak a little about that. What I understand is that there are two major remedies which a consumer has. One is to approach the distribution company themselves, and the other is to go to consumer courts. So Arjun, what would you like to say about that?
Before we discuss these remedies and what is the way forward, let us try and understand what have we done in search of a remedy. PIs were being filed in the Bombay High Court challenging these bills and directing the distribution licensees to roll back the tariffs and to roll back the bills. Now, was it a correct remedy? Certainly it was not, and the High Court has dismissed the PIs, and rightly so. What it said was that in extraordinary red jurisdiction, don't expect us to give you such reliefs where it requires such hyper-technical analysis and hyper-technical know-how of it. So rightly the PILs were dismissed by reason of that the law provides alternative remedy, and not only alternative remedy but effective enough. So you approach those remedies, and if you find any arbitrariness or abnormalities with it, then you approach us possibly by way of a writ petition, and that can be done. We'll see how. Before that, let us understand the hierarchy. Now, what is this alternative remedy? If you open the Electricity Act, you see Section 42. Section 42 says that every distribution licensee is to establish a consumer redressal forum and also a conciliating body. That conciliating body is known as the Internal Grievance Redressal Forum. That committee is to hear you, it is to give a decision, and if you are unhappy with the decision, then you can appeal. The appeal is again provided. The appeal is to the Consumer Redressal Forum. After the Consumer Redressal Forum hears you and it finds something wrong with the decision of the lower forum, somebody has to be unhappy, then he or she may appeal again to the Ombudsman. And the Ombudsman will ultimately decide. The law says that there is no further appeal again against the Ombudsman. But then always a writ petition remedy lies.
Writ petition is always there.
So this is basically the first point of contact with your distribution company, where you knock the doors of the internal grievance redressal cell.
Yes, exactly.
Once you file it, they have to acknowledge your complaint within 5 days. And then they have to provide a remedy to you, basically tell you what the problem is or solve or resolve your problem within a span of 2 months. If they do not revert to you, or if you are not satisfied with what their solution is, you go ahead and appeal to the Consumer Grievance Redressal Forum. And as the regulation provides that the CGRF, then it is forwarded to a nodal officer, who basically is a person who has the knowledge about the distribution and is a part of the board of the distribution. Then we move on to the CGRF hires a third party, where they send that person for investigation. Then there is a hearing where both parties are heard. Then we come to CGRF passing an order within 2 months. Once they pass the order, the remedy, if you are not satisfied, you go to the Ombudsman in less than 60 days from the date of passing of order. Then the Ombudsman passes his or her own order.
Everything is provided in order to kind of help the consumer to make these redressal committees, cells, forums approachable and easy to access. You don't even require an advocate, like I rightly said. But not only that, there are so many other remedies. So proper judicial inquiry has been provided under it, and therefore anybody, they can also approach this forum. So you should always keep that in mind. What about the consumer forum? Because in the end, we all are consumers. Whether they will still continue to have their jurisdiction to hear these consumer issues, because in light of this altered remedy being there. Arjun, what do you have to say about that?
See, when the law provides, law as in the Electricity Act, a specific remedy for a specific grievance, and ABCD, and this is the relief that you will get for your grievance. then you need not approach any other court or forum. But then if you consider electricity to be a saleable commodity, you use it,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
resell it, then you are a consumer.
But in fact, interestingly, I was reading a judgment in the case of UP Electricity Board versus Ahmed, where it specifically said that there is no bar and the people who use electricity are consumers and they can approach the consumer forum.
Yeah, and in fact, you saying this about the judgment, Section 173 plays a very important role in all of these factors. There is a specific provision that nothing in this Electricity Act shall be deemed to be inconsistent with what is given under the Consumer Protection Act. So, whatever the remedies are available under the Electricity Act, they cannot be said to be inconsistent, or they cannot be said, in a way to take away the functions or powers or remedies available to a consumer under Consumer Disputes Act.
One more important thing is that the MERC had issued a press note in April 2020, and in that press note it directs that the distribution licensees are not to disconnect any electricity supplies just because the bills are not paid for any reasons, and unless the grievances are redressed completely, you don't disconnect. So that was a press note, and that was an unusual direction given by the MERC. By giving such unusual directions, it has really taken care of the interests of the consumers.
Also, what I read was it's not indefinitely. You have to put your complaint, and only if you register a complaint, only then your electricity cannot be disconnected. So, as you are aware, that we had invited questions for this episode and asked you guys to speak to us about what your grievances are, and we will help and endeavor to resolve them and solve them. Surprisingly, we've got an overwhelming response to this, and we picked out a few questions, and I would like Akshay to read them out so that we can discuss these questions.
So the first question is that isn't the electricity for the where the bill was high, isn't the electricity charged as previous quarter average and revised later? So I think basically the question is that when you're charged for the previous quarter average, is it revised later?
Of course, it is revised later, and that is the legislative mandate. So when you are charged with average bills, and later on when the time is ripe and convenient, you charge them with the actual bills as against the average bills. So the carried over amount or the leftover amount is to be carried over to the actual bill, and you are to be charged. If you call it revision or revised bills, then be that so. That is a revised bill.
I'll go to the second question. Is there any way in which we can avoid paying exorbitant bills and wait for them to recorrect the bill and pay later, as bill is 10 times of an average bill?
Certainly, as you already spoke about certain interim reliefs that the consumer forums may grant. In cases of interim reliefs, certainly you can refrain from paying the bills and wait for the judgment or the outcome of the redressal forum, and thereafter pay the appropriate bill as what is warranted by the judge. Secondly, the press note, as what we referred to a while ago. The press note says that don't you disconnect anybody's bill just because they have not paid it if the redressal mechanism is in process. So once the redressal mechanism is in process, they are incumbent to not disconnect your bill.
Third question, if we don't pay falsely inflated electricity bill, will our electricity bill be cut?
I think we covered that in the previous.
Just to clarify again, that it will be cut if you don't kind of redress it. But if you go to the right forum and you get the right orders, then your electricity won't be cut. What action can be taken by a middle class person who at any cost can't afford to pay an inflated bill? I think all these questions are very similar.
Approach the forum.
Approach the forum. That is the only way. I'll just do one more question because most of them are similar only. If we have paid inflated bill currently and not filed a complaint, yet do we need to file a complaint or get a complaint number?
File a complaint immediately, you will be saved.
So the takeaway from this episode, I believe, and as Arjun has also enlightened us, is your first step if you have any problem with the bill is not to just sit at home and not pay and in protest, but to approach these forums and try to see what the problem is and see what they say your problem is. They might resolve it, and if they don't resolve, you have a 3-layer appeal process. So it's not that you just approach them. If they don't listen to you, you have no option but to pay. But you have this process. So enforce your rights. Go to the forums. Try to see what the problem is.
Arjun, any parting notes?
Nothing at all. I'm too happy to speak on this subject, to be invited, and I'm really thankful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arjun. This is our bit to the public and to our viewers, because at the end of the day, this topic is always, it's an omnipresent topic.
For our viewers, if you enjoyed this episode, please like our channel, please subscribe, and I feel it's very essential to share these things, because the further the message reaches of where to approach and whom to approach, I think it's good for all of us. So please
Yes.
share this video. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.